Hi, Mary Baxter here. I want to welcome you to episode 16 in my Akashic Record video series. And today we're going to look at concepts around location and how these show up for us in our Akashic Records. So the first thing we can ask ourselves is, where are we? Like, where were we born? And why that particular place of birth? And we might still be there. Maybe you're still living where you were born, or maybe you've moved. Maybe you've gone somewhere else. Maybe you've moved a lot or a little. Maybe you moved a lot as a child because of your parents' lives, work, and decisions. But maybe not so much, or as an adult you're moving a lot or a little, and you might be wondering about it, because we do tend to wonder about where we are and what we're doing, and are we where we're supposed to be? That's usually a big question. Another one is, where have you been? So easily in the Akashic Records, we can look at where we've been, as in soul groups. Have we incarnated other places than Earth and then come here? Have we incarnated here and gone somewhere else and then come back? I mean, there's some really interesting things that are revealed to us in the records. And really, the more and more I learn about space and science and all the things that NASA is discovering, I'm just like so convinced that we've barely scratched the surface in the Akashic Records, because we're only going to find out in there what we ask, what we are open to. And so we have that very interesting history of lifetimes on Earth, on other planets, interplanetary, intergalactic travel, these things that we've really had shown to us through science fiction are turning out to be less and less fictional. And really, within the records, to me, they just were not fiction once I, started to find this information about us in the records. Then we can also look at our pasts, like, past lives. Where have we been? What geographic areas? And interesting things will happen to us in our past lives. Like, we might reincarnate in a very specific location within the same century, maybe twice, maybe three times, these short lifetimes, but trying to do something in a particular location. We can find out about it. And now, I'll do readings for people that are having very specific experiences in the geographical location where they are. And when we look, we'll find out, well, they have been there before and they are present again in the same location because there's resolution. Something needs to be shifted. Something is incomplete in the area. So all of these different things come through to us with our locations. Those temporary moves, long-term moves, moves we thought we were going to make, and we go through with it and change our minds and turn around and come back. I've had those. And then there is traveling, and we all do that in so many different ways. Then we might wonder where we're going. Maybe we are making a move, or we can't stop thinking about it, but we're in a place and we don't know, should we be going somewhere else? Is there something that I don't know that would make it clear to me? So that kind of information is very, the clearer you are about what you want to know, the easier it is to find a really direct answer in the records, which will have all the information about the past, all the information about the present, and then these potential futures based on what we choose, what we do in the present. So we wonder too, like, what draws us to a particular place? What repels us from another place? What makes you want to move away from one place and to another? And what is it about a place that you just get to, or you just show up there, or you take a vacation and you never want to leave. What is that about? Are we in the right place? Well, yes. That would be the short answer. Wherever you are, this is why, remember this statement, grow where you are planted. Now, this doesn't mean that you're rooted to a spot and you can never go anywhere else, but it does mean that wherever you are, presently, in the present moment, if you are taking care of your business in the best way that you possibly know how at all levels of your life, you grow where you're planted. And if you are going somewhere else, if you have a plan that you've made, a soul plan, if synchronicities need to be set up that you're even in a certain place temporarily because there's someone who also will be there that you've agreed to meet up with as souls, and maybe then you proceed to go somewhere else. All these things are going on. And what I really have learned over the years is the better we are doing in our present moment, the calmer we are, the more centered we are, the more responsive instead of reactive, the more things unfold in the way that we have intended for them to be. Then we also have a feeling, if we're in the right place, that we're contributing to this place, to the people in it, to the situations, and that we're being appreciated. And if we are not, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to move, but obviously something has to change. And it could be by making a move, or it may be dealing with things at a higher level than we have been accustomed to, and it's time to grow and change. In a place where we belong, we're going to feel it. We will feel a sense of belonging. We will not feel like, oh my goodness, we have to leave, we have to be somewhere else. We'll never complete or do what we came here to do if we stay in this location and don't go to another one. If you need to move, it's going to come across to you in a variety of ways. There's going to be a strong desire, possibly to be in a specific spot. Maybe you always wanted to live in the mountains or near an ocean, or maybe you have a city, maybe the city of Cleveland has always called you. So you have to be willing to take a risk and be open to outcomes. And, you could go somewhere and just move there, or you could take a trip, check it out, see how you feel. If you have this wanderlust and this need to be moving, first, you can always check it out by simply taking trips. Everything doesn't have to be permanent. Do you want to move? This is another way, I'm talking about the Akashic Records, and I'm also talking about how you feel, because where are your Akashic Records located? This is another aspect of location, and you are in your Akashic Records. For example, at the outermost layer of the aura, called the Golden Web, and I'm holding my hands out to the side and wiggling my fingers because that's about the location of the Golden Web. And on that Golden Web, your Akashic Record is with you. Your Akashic Record is in multiple locations. I've talked about this in some other videos. The 0 point field, a field that permeates absolutely everything, the hologram, the holographic universe. So if you can kind of grasp, and I know it can be difficult if you're like pinned at a location and can't really see beyond it, but this is there. And so if you have a plan for this lifetime to be in a particular place at a particular time and do specific things, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the need to stay there if you are in that spot, or to get there, and things will happen that will make that happen, that will make that occur. And you'll have sensations, and I bring this up like as far as you being in touch with your Akashic records, whether you're conscious of it or not. And in my course, Practical Intuition, the last class in that course teaches you how to, go into your own record and start to live from that place. Because this is where those feelings are going to come from. If there is a change that needs to be made, or if something needs to be the same, it will come to you. And the thing to remember, no matter what your location, is that you, who we are, our core being, is going with us everywhere. So if the intention of changing locations is to escape yourself, that's not going to work. And that's where, like you'll hear about people who have moved to try to get away from so many things and end up recreating the same circumstances in the new location. And this is because you are there and you are doing your thing. You're working on your tasks, your lessons, your experiences. And this is going to happen regardless of your location. But your location can have a lot to do with how smoothly or roughly things are working out. And then how do we know? And this is what I'm talking about with being in your records and being aware of your feelings, because this is how you pay attention to your inner wisdom. You notice how you feel with all the things going on in your life, and you constantly release any fears you have about change, because a move is big, it's as big as changing your relationships. And why? Because you are changing your relationship with a geography and a location and a history that you may have shared in, or you're going to start creating in the present. Geographic resonance is also something that is felt, and this is that sense of being where you are and belonging there. Some people relate, like if you relate to the star Sirius or the dog star constellation in the night sky, and then you find out that you're a Sirian, and it's like, wow, I've always loved that star. There'll be those kinds of experiences. Or for where if you're born in the perfect place you're meant to stay all your life, you will stay there. Or if you go away, you will return to it, because the feeling, the resonance with the location is so strong. There can be people there that you've had connections with, not only in this lifetime, but in these past lifetimes, in these locations. And this also can really determine where we will go. I invite you to look at this when it comes to yourself and how you feel about where you are, thoughts that you've had about where you might go and what you might do, and start to feel about them, not like they're strange or they make you uncomfortable, or feel anxious and wondering like, oh my goodness, should I do this? Should I do that? Am I in the right place? And just relax about it and center yourself and do your best in exactly the geographic location where you are. And you'll find things coming to you that will reassure you that you're on the right path, and that if you need to travel somewhere, if you need to visit somewhere, if you need to move somewhere, this is going to come to you. And that openness is a very important part. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, check out my website. I'm always available for Akashic readings, intuitive readings, my courses, Practical Intuition and How to Read the Akashic Records, are all available on my websites. So thank you again, and I'll see you for episode 17 in the Akashic Records series, where we're going to look at fear and how that fits in to our Akashic record. So thanks for watching.